Welcome to week 2 of the podcast, Deep Thoughts. We're glad to be here. I'm Kurt.
And I'm Micah.
This week we're going to try to refrain from as much potty humor as we did last week and get into maybe a little bit more depth, but we're still going to keep it fun. So, Micah, how about we just get right into it? You got a few questions for me today?
Right. Well, first I want to start off, what happened this week in Deep and anything interesting leading up to this recording of the podcast?
It sounds like a loaded question, like I should know something. This week in Deep, we had a great discussion just more about doubt and how God is good despite what our circumstances are. I don't know of anything interesting that happened leading up to this week, but I'm sure the questions may reveal differently.
Right. All right. So first question, and this is asked by multiple people. Can they be on the podcast?
Multiple people. Yes, we can do some guest appearances on the podcast. The problem is that you're in school and we're recording this during school hours.
We're recording this at 10:19 on a Thursday morning
right now, but we're going to try to move to Wednesdays. So if you can get off and out of school, you're more than welcome.
Yeah,
Come on. We'll include you some way, somehow.
All right. Second question. And this was through Instagram. So we had a lot of comments and questions through Instagram, through our FBC Rinkin Youth.
You can always send those questions in at any time. We'll get to them one week or another.
Yeah, so we don't have to have a post up saying we need your questions. If you just send them to us whenever, then we can get it done. Absolutely. But that's just a quick reminder. Second question, are you ready?
Ready.
Is mayo an instrument? Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Is mayonnaise an instrument? I suppose if you get a jar of mayonnaise and you stick your hand into it and it makes that noise, it could be an instrument. Or if you take out globs of mayonnaise and throw it against the wall and that noise, that would be an instrument. Yes, so I guess mayonnaise could be an instrument, even though if you go to the dictionary, it probably does not define it as an instrument.
I mean, you can record anything and loop it and make it an instrument.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those sound effects were brought to you by me, myself, and I. You're welcome.
At Kurt V. Kessler. Third question, and this might be a little bit of a sore spot for you.
Oh, great.
It's not about the Cubs.
Okay.
So it's not.
Yeah. I'm good. Hey, today is the anniversary of the Cubs winning the World Series, I'm in a good mood.
At the time of this recording, the Houston Astros pulled off the win in Game 7 last night.
Game 7 last night. Performed very well. Took it to Yu Darvish and the Dodgers early in the game and never looked back.
Yeah, they that first inning really helped him out. So this is a hit on you personally. Okay.
Oh, great.
Kurt, what happened to your hair?
What happened to my hair? I have plenty of hair. I just choose to cut it short. Unique story, actually. And I can tie this in some way, somehow, to our random fact of the day. But when I was growing up, I always wanted a buzz cut. Yes, that's what they used to call it. I don't know if they still call it that. Always wanted a buzz cut. Always wanted a buzz cut. My parents were like, no, you got to have long hair. I had so many cowlicks and everything else. I didn't want long hair, so I wanted a buzz cut. Went to the barber one time. My mom finally said, Kurt, you can get a buzz cut. I was so excited.
Been there, done that. It's not fun.
No, it was a blast for me until the barber cuts all my hair off and finds a giant tick on the top of my head. Nice. And I mean giant tick. And he ripped that thing off my head, had to put alcohol on it, burned like crazy. But from that day forward, I said, I'm never going to have long hair again, because if I have a tick in my hair, I want to know it's there before it gets this big. And so since 6th grade, I have always had short hair.
So this is a lifestyle choice for you.
This is a lifestyle choice for me. Yes, this absolutely
You know how
is.
many men wish that they could have that as a lifestyle choice? Take, for example,
your dad,
Greg Hartzog, wishes
yes.
that was the situation.
Greg, we love you. If you ever listen to this, probably won't. But you know it.
Hey,
but let's tie that into our random fact of the day, talking about ticks and other small animals. Did you know that a leech, has 32 brains? 32 2 brains. That is incredible. That means the average leech is smarter than you. Just let that sink in.
Fourth question.
Hey, random facts of the day.
All right.
They're important.
Fourth question. Now, these two are going to be some deep thought questions.
True
By the way,
deep thought
we're
questions.
moving through this podcast a lot quicker than we did last time.
Yeah,
because
thankfully.
we're at like 5 minutes in, and we've already covered 3 questions. So,
Well-
I mean, we're on a roll today.
Well, thank goodness we don't have any potty humor.
Well,
to
you know what? It
try
made it
to
more
sort
interesting
out.
last time.
Yeah, maybe so.
Fourth question. These are the 2 deep thought questions. If God is made of... Is God... Oh, now I goofed that one. Okay.
Yeah, start that over. We
If-
can edit that out, maybe.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I'm too lazy.
Okay.
If God... My gosh. Is God made of skin and bones or some other type of physical material? If so, what is he is he composed of atoms or some other mystical substance? So is he skin, flesh, bones, or what?
So there's an easy answer to this, and there's a complex answer to this. The easy answer to this is yes, God is made of flesh and bones. It's called Jesus.
Should have just said yes and left it there. The
Could
complex question is yes.
Yeah. It's called Jesus. You know, we can get into a whole discussion about the Trinity and everything like that, but Jesus was God in human form. So yes, flesh and bones. Now, if you want to talk about the separation of the Trinity, you still have the Trinity, but the separation of the Trinity, God himself, is he made out of any material? Here's the unique thing, and this is kind of a perspective I have on God, a perspective I have on heaven, and some other things is that the Bible is very clear that there are mysteries that are going to be revealed to us at some point in time, but yet at this point in time, in this where we are today, there's still mysteries. And sometimes we like to think of God or heaven and hell in our own terminology, and I think it doesn't suffice to the greatness and grandeur of God. And so to put a limitation on God being made up of just atoms or molecules or flesh or anything like that, I don't think that it would measure up to what God really is and who he really is. You know, when God was encountered in the Bible by a few different people, thinking about Moses and Paul in particular, he was a great light. So that you couldn't even see his face. Just kind of blinded Paul, and Moses had to veil his face. And so, yeah, that's the more complex answer. But the easy answer is yes.
Welcome
Just
to
yes.
the Deep Thoughts podcast.
Deep thoughts. Hey, we actually got to a deep thought today. Hey, there we go. All right,
Boom.
we got another question.
All right, this is the last
All right,
question.
before we get to that question, another thing that we must celebrate. Today is a national holiday. Do you know that, Micah?
I did not.
Today is a national holiday. Today is National Deviled Egg Day. Deviled Egg Day.
Why is it every time we record, there's
Now-
some type of holiday with food?
Because that's the type of holidays I look up
Hey,
and love.
this is America.
So here's a question for you, Micah.
Okay.
Posing the question back to you.
Oh,
So
we'll
deviled
reverse it.
eggs. Do you like deviled eggs?
absolutely not.
Oh, well, you may not be able to answer this question. If you did like deviled eggs, do you like your deviled eggs with pickles in them or without pickles in them?
I like them in the trash can.
Yes, that may be the best way to eat them if it's you.
Real quick, someone is playing a rooster sound in the room over, even though we have a sign up saying, "Please
Podcast
don't-"
recording
Oh
in
my
progress.
goodness.
Holy cow. But deviled eggs with or without pickles, that is an ongoing battle in my house. I preferably like them with a little pickle relish in them. My wife, on the other hand, does not like, but yet she loves pickles. Crazy.
I just started coming around to pickles recently.
Yeah.
Like for the longest time, like even still,
Sour pickles or sweet pickles, bread and butter, chips,
little bit
dill, spicy. There's all sorts of
the
options.
green ones. I'll be honest with you, Kurt.
I wouldn't eat one if it wasn't green.
I'll be honest with you, Kurt. Up until about 5 years ago,
Yes.
if even that, I had no idea that a pickle was a cucumber in vinegar. For the longest time, I thought that they were two separate things.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's one of those where I like pickles in my deviled egg mix with a little cumin sprinkled on top. It makes it so good. Not cumin. I'm sorry. What's the paprika? Paprika.
You mean
yes.
paprika?
No, paprika.
Right, paprika.
Paprika.
Right. So he said paprika. Okay, and go ahead.
Mauk. All right. So let's go to that last question you got there.
Last question. This is for you as a parent, and if we have any parents listening to this, they're probably very disappointed in us after the first podcast.
They may be,
but they probably are.
Please restore hope in us.
Please
trust us with your kids.
Oh goodness.
Well, don't trust Micah. Trust me with your kids.
Trust Kurt with your kids. Last question, and we might get some letters about this if anyone still writes letters, but we might get some questions about this one.
Oh, great.
What age should a teen start dating? So here's the scenario. You got 2 kids. I don't want to say kids because they're not 5. You have 2 teenagers in your youth department, and they come to you and say, "Hey, Kurt, I want to start dating so and so. Do you think I am at the right age? What do you think?"
The right age to start dating. I think I don't know that there's a correct answer to this.
Or at least what's your philosophy?
My philosophy is you got to show some maturity before you start dating. Also, and I think, Micah, you agree with me on this. If you're a middle schooler or even like a freshman in high school and your mom and dad are having to take you to your date.
If you were riding in the
and I
back
did
of a
the air
minivan.
quotes right there like everybody on the podcast could see me. But if you're having to like have your parents take you to the date or even pay for your date.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah, you're too young to start dating. There's no sense in it.
If you're hopping out the Honda Odyssey and mom's like, "I'll be back to pick you up in 2 hours," you do not deserve to go outside.
Yeah, well, you can go outside. just maybe a date is not in order and stuff. But yeah, I don't know that there's a right age or a wrong age. Just be mature, be smart about it. Realize that as a middle schooler and high schooler that 99% of middle school and high school relationships fail. Now, I know some of you out there listening, your parents were high school sweethearts. Yay, great for them. Guess what? That just means your percentage went down,
right?
Of it happening to you. But yeah, so lots and lots of relationships fail. Guard your heart above all else, and just be smart about it because you don't want to throw those little 3 words out there too soon, and it just makes the breakup
like "let's go out."
Let's go out. That's exactly
those 3 words.
Or let's go steady.
Let's go steady.
Let's go steady. That's what all these teenagers
they're talking
today.
now. They talk.
Oh, it's not let's go steady?
No, we're talking.
I might need to do some research and stuff. So, yeah, just be careful and everything. But if you are 14 years old and your birthday's on December 30th, 2002, you're definitely too young to date. Definitely.
Sounds very specific, Kurt.
It might be.
Okay. So, we're done with the questions. Well, not really, but here are the following or the ending things.
Oh, okay.
2 things. Now, last week we ended with what's your favorite song? I'm gonna have an add-on to that.
We'll get that. We'll get there.
We'll get there. So, since last week, I was kind of leaning in, hoping that you were going to be like, "Okay, here's my favorite song, Micah. What's your favorite song?" And that's what I was kind of banking on, and you didn't do it.
Way to be selfish, Micah, and make it all about you. It's supposed to be all about me, duh.
And since you didn't bring it up, I'm going to have to bring it up for myself.
Hey, Micah, what's your favorite song?
Oh, thanks, Kurt, for asking. So, I don't have a favorite song right now, but KB's
Well, then why would you even have me ask you that question?
Last week I said, "Do you have a favorite album or song?" I opened up the door. My favorite album.
I'm going to have to go back and listen and see if you actually said album.
I did. It's speaking of, if you want to listen to this podcast, it's either on YouTube or SoundCloud. Plug. So,
shameless.
My favorite album right now, it just came out a couple weeks ago, is KB's Today We Rebel.
Oh, okay. Yes,
it's a follow-up to Tomorrow We Live.
I have listened to some of that.
That's a good story
always
album.
Love some KB.
I'm starting to go more KB over Lecrae, even though Lecrae's album just came out not too long ago either. Not as big of a fan. I like the trap. I'm really into the trap these days, Kurt.
Don't fall into traps. That's bad.
But connected to that is I keep I don't know if you do this, But when you listen to a song or like a rap song and you hear like a really good line in it and you're just waiting to use...
No, not really. Sorry to disappoint.
I'm hoping the podcast didn't cut out because my computer turned off for a second. So I'll listen back, and if this whole thing is messed up, then we're going to have to re-record this.
Great. We'll be all right. That's my favorite quote. I hope this podcast didn't mess up.
This podcast actually recorded.
There's a giant grasshopper on my window right now.
Oh, my
it just
goodness.
fell off. It was about 4 inches long. That thing was huge. Just a couple other shameless plugs while we're at it. So if you're listening to this before Sunday, November 5th, that is the deadline for mission trip applications. So make sure you get those in. Jamaica mission trip applications. Also, our MOVE conference is coming up at the end of December 29th and 30th. Registration is open for that. You can go online and register, or you can also pick up a form on Sundays at dEEP or on Sunday mornings from me. And then last but not least, my favorite song.
Here we go.
Currently right now, my favorite song is by DJ 1 Millionth. Yeah, you probably never heard of him. But
that's how underground Kurt is with his music choices.
I am telling you, I'm deep. Here's my favorite song of the week. We're going to send you out on this. Have a great week, and we can't wait to see you or let you listen to us, something like that, because we don't see you since it's all audio.
It's all audio.
Next week for dEEP Thoughts Podcast.